page 37 has the two figures, the indigent health care for inmates and the regular indigent health care. Two figures. The next is courthouse, page 38. We budget normal repairs for the courthouse, the annexes, the jail, and then not knowing, we can transfer those around depending on if, where our issues are, which normally is the jail.
What page are you on now?
Page 38,
What part-time help do we pay out of this line item?
the lady that cleans the courthouse and the annex.
What about the guy that mows the lawn?
Let me see if I,
It was on something else.
that was page.
Purchase services.
Is that in purchase services on this 670, 640 on it?
640, yes.
Yes, it is. 640, 460. We've discussed whether or not to get one of those big lawn mowers and then have,
I say, I'm just not on the agenda, but my feelings would be, when it needs to be mowed, call
I think it ought to
somebody.
be on contract mode every 2 weeks.
Quicker than that.
Yeah, well, certain times a year, yeah.
yeah. Well, I can usually call him, he'll just come, you know, within the next day or two, if it's not raining or if it's not something, but, and we talked about getting a mower and trying to use the inmates to do that, but since we've been in this situation, we didn't want to get the inmates out. So, because they're trying to keep a pretty close tab on them and be sure they don't get the COVID in the jail. So, we'll continue on for now then doing it that way.
Or
Okay. But that and, let's see, that's 460. Also in that line item is, that's not all mowing that 15,000. Also in that line item is, when we do shredding, that truck comes and everybody brings their stuff and shreds that. And some of this now is gonna be contract cleaning also. And then, Mahia Pest Control is also in that purchase services. And if you look at that first packet, if you look on that page 37, there's kind of a little list of things that are paid out of those.
You're talking about this very first.
Very first packet. And there are other pages in here that have notes on them showing what is paid out of certain line items.
first floor bathrooms not 88.
They're not. And we, you know, when we finished the district courtroom, we had to have a person come and do a ADA inspection. That's one of the requirements. And those bathrooms up there, surely are not ADA, but the way they wanted us to redo all of those. And with the stairs the way they are, with trying to move the doors and moving everything inside, we finally got a variance from the ADA department or whatever it was, so that we didn't have to do that. But we thought they were gonna make us have to do the downstairs ones and make them ADA, but after looking back on what they sent us, they didn't really require that, so we're gonna mark that off. Unless y'all think we should go ahead and make them ADA while we're at it anyway, and have that done.
First floor.
First floor. Because they didn't end up requiring that. everybody's been using them all these years the way they are, and they've not required us to do it, so I guess we'll just, my thought was we'll just wait until they say we have to do it. So you can mark that off. I didn't mark it off, and that's why I marked it off. All right, page 38, courthouse. Anything else on that? Page 39, the jail. Any discussion on that?
On page 38, where it says, building maintenance and I guess slash sheriff's office and jail, there's 50,000 there.
That business, that maintenance is like small things within the jail. I know that's not small, 50,000, but we were
It's,
talking about the
it's
jail.
pretty size.
It's, wait, no, are you talking about the blank line?
Ma'am?
Are you talking about the blank line that's there?
Talking about on page 38 where it says, 640, 357, building maintenance slash, I guess that's SO, sheriff's office,
Mhm.
and then, and jail.
If they have any actual maintenance on it, on the building itself, then we transfer that money over to them. I guess we could have just put all that in one lump sum, building maintenance, and then we could just transfer it. That's what we used to do, is put it all together, and then whatever section needed something as far as the actual maintenance on the building itself.
But the thing is, well, that's true. Normally, the reason why it's separated out is because if we just take it right out of that line item, say if the jail needed a new air conditioner or whatever, we just transfer it right out of there, something that is like attached to the building, or like if it was the roof, they needed a new roof or whatever, we would just take it straight out of there, and that kind of keeps everything separated so you can see how much money that we're using for the jail, in the sheriff's office.
Other than building maintenance.
Yes. Now, sometimes if they ran out of money in repairs and maintenance in the jail, and that's for small stuff like locks and just different whatnots or whatever, we have transferred that money from sheriff's office, jail, that maintenance line item, to the repairs and maintenance in the jail, just for the small things.
Back over early, we had a deal where we could pull out there for air conditioning stuff for jail, it's 250,000, 275,000. And then we got another 50 over here. Or whatever might be tore up somewhere.
Well, this says on the 460, it's $500.
460.
642, 460.
That's purchase services.
Okay, and on this one,
Purchase services there is more like computer stuff, is that right?
well, this says it's 30,500 penciled in.
That's where the 30,000, that's where they moved the 30,000 from the
Okay.
telesite telemed to the.
Okay.
It was, yeah, he had on his sheet 30,500.
There you go.
That was that tech
Okay.
stuff that we moved.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you, Jeremy. I don't know, Karen, is there a better way that we could budget that? I mean, you decide whether it's repairs or whether it's capital outlay or whatever. I mean, we still got the same expense, it's just where we're gonna budget it.
Right. I mean, as far as like for the repairs, for the building maintenance, because that's exactly what it says, building maintenance, sheriff's office and jail. So if it's something big, taking it out of there, and but again, we have, when they've ran out of money in their repairs and maintenance line item, we have transferred some over there to cover their smaller things. But but I like it like that. I like it because it kind of separates it out, and we just use it for that reason, just maintenance. We don't transfer it for anything else. You know that it's got to be something big to the courthouse building or one of the annexes or something like that. So I do like it separated out like that.
Next is the Veteran Service Officer, and I made a note, we need to, contact and see if, our previous one would be agreeable to come back, or if not, we either need to find another Veteran Service Officer. I think they do a good service for our veterans, really do.
Now, Judge, he did retire, and so we have to be careful with that on the retirement because, you know, you have to be separated.
How long
from
has it
the
been
county.
since he's been here?
I'd have to go check that date. I don't remember the exact date.
Okay. I think it's been over the 30 days at least. And, you know, we didn't guarantee that he would come back, and he didn't guarantee it, we certainly didn't. But I would like to see if he's, would like to come back. He did a good job.
Bonafide, you need to be bonafide, that's what it says, isn't it?
You what?
Bonafide?
Bonafide, he is. He is. He's so knowledgeable and so good with them, with the veterans.
Well, I'm talking about to come back, it's gotta be bonafide.
Bonafide?
You don't remember all that?
I do. The ring, yeah. I remember that. I saw that show.
I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Okay, page 42. We're gonna have a few more people that we know are retiring. That's why the Medicare supplement is being increased. You know, there's always that discussion, we talk about trying to cut our budget back and whether that would be something that we would eventually have to not be able to fund, but at this point, does anybody have any?
We got 25,000 down in emergency, we didn't have nothing the last 4 or 5 years.
Right, and if we're gonna budget it in county services, we can take this one off. Just depends on where we're gonna budget it from. Because we'll have to either increase the budget in, county services, or we can pay it out of this emergency line item.
Yeah. Then we got 10,000 emergency management that hasn't been in there.
And that is on page 36.
Page 4.
All right, where do we? Yes. So, do we want to add some to county services and take these two out? Or do you want to use these two? Emergency would be just expenses at that time.
All I'm saying is just hadn't been budgeted in here in a long time, and here it is now. It don't make any difference to me.
Or we can move it over to county services. Do you want to take the two out that's on this, maybe we should take that one out that says emergency and then add it to either,
What do we use contingency for?
what do we use what?
Contingency? I'm on page 42, is that what y'all on?
Yes, it is.
200,000.
We normally have that for unexpected things that have not been budgeted for. And there always seems be other, yeah, we do. Now, if we were, here is where this contingency special, this is where the contingency special, that second one, if we are gonna budget for the cars in case they don't get, in case they don't get paid for last year. You know, we budgeted before for things that are special, and once they go into special, that's something that we don't just transfer out just for whatever. It's a special purpose, and it's only used for that, and if we don't have that special purpose, then we'll not spend it. So that's why I think we need to add right there the amount for the cars in case we don't get them in the next 2 months. And what we had budgeted will go back in, will go into surplus, so it's not like we're actually spending additional money.
So you're gonna put 159,000 in the contingency special,
I put in 160 rounded it off
160?
in the special. Hopefully you'll get it in the next 2 months, and then that'll be done with that. So I think we'll take emergency, well, maybe what we ought to do in county services is make another line item for emergency management. And then we'll take this out of 670. So mark those two off. And on the transfers out, we transfer funds to the security, have to transfer money into the security officer's fund because the funds that that come out of the court costs are not enough to support that budget. And it's just, we have to have a special budget for the funds that come out of the court costs because they can't be used for anything else. So we put it in that security fund, and then we transfer the additional amount that's required for our security officer to fund that part. I think I skipped over something back here we should have talked about a little more. And it's on page 5, it's on page 15. And it is that capital litigation amount that we had talked about. On page 15. That's where that $1 million is for the capital litigation. And we had it at one time prior to this year, this current year, we had it all in one figure, but we've divided that up because the litigation expenses, Karen can file for reimbursement on those. And so she's putting litigation expenses in that to keep it separate so that she can report on that number. Is that a good way to say that? All right, anything else on page 36? Page 37 is that indigent health care that we've talked about several times, the 40,000 and the 75.
Yep.
38 is courthouse, we already talked about that. 39, oh, I'm way out. Page 43, Central Appraisal District. I was gonna talk some more unnecessarily. He may have sent us, we'll look and see, but he may have sent us an actual number last night, but we have to fund the appraisal district, and it's based on all of the taxing entities. Their cost is divided up among those entities, and so he gives us an amount that we have to pay. Page 44, ambulance. I know the ambulance ambulances are requesting an increase in their funding.
Who?
Fairfield Ambulance. I haven't heard anything from Steve. The next one, 700, is fire departments. We, page 45, we pay the workers' comp. We set up $20,000 for a grant match, and then down at the bottom, $20,000 for capital outlay for things that they request, and we give each one of them $10,000 to assist with their expenses. Senior services, she is requesting an increase in part-time, and there's a little increase in raw food because the costs have gone up a little.
But how much was the ambulance one request? They got the same figure written down.
We do, I just put that in there, since that's what we've done before, but I don't think I've gotten the actual request from him, but I'm gonna call Billy, he wanted to come in, I don't know if he wanted to come in, for a meeting, or if he just wanted to come in and, visit with us. And we got some other stuff, if you look in your packet, that fire departments are requesting that lift mechanism, and then, that's all I have here, but I'm sure they'll come in and talk to us about whatever else they might need. But that lift thing is something that Fairfield has already requested. Then we'll need to decide about the museums, the libraries, and all of that. We have, on Fund 670, that SCAP grant. Do you know if we're getting that SCAP grant? Where we are on that? Do you know? No.
Which grant is that?
It's that illegal alien one, right? It's that grant.
I think that's,
I
you
do
fill
part
out
of it,
part
I've
of it
already
and
done
send
my
it to
part.
them, is that right?
I've heard of that
And
grant.
what is that called? I mean, what does that mean, SCAP?
I can't remember exactly what the initials stand for, but I thought it was the Alien Assistance Program, is the AA,
It is.
but I don't remember what the S is.
Oh, is that the ones where you put them out for the officers and then they give us a
Yes, ma'am.
reimbursement for some of it? Okay.
Well, I had received an email, and I had sent it, I had forwarded it to Sheena, and I hadn't heard back from her, and I tried to call her Thursday, Friday, and I couldn't get her. But if you're not reporting every month or whatever, according to what the JBL, which they help us with that grant, or the JBI, if you're not reporting monthly to that, then, you know, I believe that we won't qualify. But I couldn't get a hold of Sheena. They called me and I forwarded them to Sheena to talk to them, and I said, if you don't get her, call me back. And they never did, so, I don't know if Sheena had gotten the email where she was supposed to report every month or not, so, instead of just doing it quarterly. Because that was the first I had heard of it.
Let me see what else I've got here. All right, that's all I have for today. And if you'll look at the first set you had, that'll have all the notes that everybody has on there, or things they're requesting, and then we'll try to go over that again Wednesday and see if we can firm up anything. And actually, yes, we need to talk about salaries. If we're gonna give any kind of a raise, we need to know that so we can put that in place. And then we're also gonna have to decide, elected officials, I'm sure, won't get a raise unless everybody else gets a raise. So we've gotta decide that so that we can put our notices out. But we do need to decide about salaries. That's a big part of the budget. And so, if we are going to do anything, we need to get that in the budget, so we'll see where we are, because
Are we gonna have an
so,
effective rate, we're just not gonna have one? It's just gonna be
well, I think we're gonna have one.
kind of what we had last year? I mean,
Well-
will we know that Wednesday? We won't know by Wednesday?
I think we will. I haven't called Lisa yet to see if she has it, but if she didn't get it till last night, she probably didn't even know she got it last night. Well, it wasn't night, it was 6:30 or 40, whenever that came in, but she's probably working on it this morning, we just don't have it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I'm just saying, the best I can tell you right now is that, we're close to what we were last year, but we've got, more expenses this year too, so. All right,
Can we go back to number 3 right quick?
1, 2, 3, yes.
On June 17th, we approved these roads, and we added on a road use agreement. For some reason, though, it was still in my bill. It come up since then, the road use agreement, we've all signed it,
Okay,
but we've already approved the roads, it's on there.
okay,
But she's got it. And then I'm gonna call them about the bond, sign the bond on it.
okay. So,
We've already voted on June 17th, but we just now signed the road use agreement.
we voted on it, has it already been,
Yeah, it's in the minutes right here.
okay.
And they didn't have that here, I don't guess when we did it, I can't remember June 17th.
Did y'all just sign that this morning?
Just now.
Okay,
But
because
it
I
was
wondered
just in
why I
my-
didn't sign it. Okay, I
It was
see.
in my book from last week when I wasn't here.
Okay, all right, well, if we've approved it, you don't need to do anything else. We're just gonna sign it and send it
Yeah,
in.
sign it, that's
Perfect.
what I'm saying, we signed it.
Okay, I got you now, okay.
Judge, can I say something right quick? This weekend, 23 members from, fire department members from 7 departments inside our county and 2 departments outside our county participated in level 1 vehicle extraction training. All, Friday evening, all day Saturday and all day Sunday to get their certification. Just let you know, we're trying our best to get people trained and up to speed on everything. Got a lot of new folks. Everybody really appreciated the class, enjoyed the class. Big thanks to Texas Towing and the Fairfield Angels Auxiliary for, they fed us at Texas Towing, allowed us to use their facilities and their cars. So,
Now, you're a volunteer fireman too, is that right?
yes, yes, correct.
Thank you to all the fire departments and fire.
Yes.
All right, if there's nothing else, then, we all want to talk about salaries today before we?
What would you
We're
say?
gonna have to talk about it. Is that no, we don't want to talk about it, or no? Okay,
How are you gonna give a salary, we don't know what our tax rate's gonna be, we don't know nothing. You know, we don't know what our effective tax rate
all right, we'll talk about it Wednesday.
is. But I don't know where you're gonna get the money for salaries. I don't know where you're gonna get the money for a bunch of it. So we know what our tax rate is, know what our valuation is.
Okay,
I
well,
mean,
that's,
how do we know?
well, that's what we need, is just some input, but we should have it hopefully Wednesday. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Would it be better if we meet Thursday?
We're gonna meet Thursday too.
We're already gonna be Thursday. You missed out on
We
that.
gotta meet on Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
We need to get a room over here.
double bubble what I'm talking about.
Won't take long.
sorry, but yes, actually, it was gonna be 10:30, but that's gonna be 11 o'clock.
At 11, you said 9.
Thursday.
Well,
10:30 at the
I just kept talking too long, or we could have had it a little earlier. Sorry about that. Thank you, we're dismissed.